Hey everybody, it's Dave here. And today what I'd like to show you is how to use any LiPo battery with your action cam. Most of the action cams that you buy that aren't GoPro, they're junk as far as the batteries go. The cameras themselves generally work pretty good with a few little hang-ups, but the main one being the battery. Basically, all you need, let's talk about voltage for just 1 second here. Here's the original battery, 3.8 volts. 1100 milliamps per hour. So we know that the original power source up in here is 3.8 volts. On the side of your camera you have a micro USB port, and those are 5 volts. So your computer USBs and things like that, they push out 5 volts. So that receptacle is used to 5 volts. So here's the moral of the story. Basically you have to have 3.8 volts to 5 volts. What we have here, this is just a 3.7 volt 380 milliamp per hour LiPo battery, and these are used in the drone hobby for micro drones and quadcopters and things like that. And it says 3.7 volts. You're thinking, okay, that's below the 3.8. Actually, these batteries when fully charged are around 4.2 volts. Let's check that with a voltmeter real quick. 4.25, and then when they're discharged they're at 3.7. so you have quite a bit of time before it gets down to an actual 3.7 volts, and you can power your camera with just the 3.7 volts. So let me show you a cable that I made for doing that. It's real simple. I just went to the dollar store, bought a USB cable, and I had one of these laying around. It's from an old charger for my 3.7 volt batteries, and so I cut it off and I peeled back the wiring on this USB plug. And this one here, they normally are red and black, your power and your negative, positive and your negative. In this case it is red and black. Other cords, it's white. Your negative is white, so it would be red and white. So basically we have our 4.2 volts right here. So this is a quick way to go ahead and power up your camera just like that. Start taking videos. 3.7 volts when it's fully discharged, 4.2 when it's full. Really doesn't give you a whole lot of time. I've gotten 10-15 minutes on a small battery like this. So you can get a lot larger LiPo batteries like this. And you can get them 1,000, 1,100 mAh, 1,500 mAh even sometimes, and maybe a little higher than that. I'm not sure if you shop around, and I'm holding it upside down with the camera. But so you can get a more powerful battery and it'll power your camera longer. This is the simplest way. This is the easiest way from point A to point B. However, I like to run my camera a lot longer than that, and I use my camera on a head cam when I'm flying my drones. And that way I can take videos without anyone else's assistance, and I can get little parts of my flights. I can post those to my friends, things like that. So I like to use a bigger battery. So there's another solution here. To use a larger battery, specifically with higher voltage, you can get one of these. I had one of these laying around. As a matter of fact, I had ordered this because I order things off Wish and Banggood, because they're so cheap. This was $2 with $1 shipping. So I was at a total of $3, and I bought it not knowing for sure what I was going to use it for. Moral of the story here, you can put up to 22 volts in one side of this, and no matter what, you're going to come out with 5 volts. In electrical, you would call this like a step-down converter. They used to call them just BECs, which would be a battery eliminating circuit, which simply means you can hook it up to a more powerful power source instead of having a separate battery, and you can come out with 5 volts out the other side. So, with that being said, I made a little adapter here for my cord. Put that on. And I am using this battery for the most part for most of my stuff. And this one is 7.4, 1500 milliamps per hour. It's a lithium-ion battery. You normally use lithium polymer or LiPo, but you can charge this particular battery with a lithium polymer charger. So a LiPo battery charger works just fine. There's no danger involved. Been doing it a long time, no problems. But this particular battery, because it's 7.4 volts and we're cutting the voltage down, it's actually more along the lines of 3,000 milliamps per hour, and I can use this battery for an hour at a time and still have juice, still be ready to record. And let's see how much power it has right now. So we have 8.09 volts right now. I've been using it today. Now let's go ahead and plug that in to our step down converter, or our battery eliminating circuit. And we can go ahead and check that now and see what's coming out the other side. So we had 8 volts just a moment ago. Let's see what we're getting now. 5.15. So there we go. I can run this battery on my camera for long periods of time, and the results are actually great. So there it is. And you can be creative with this. You could make it run off 9-volt batteries, AAA batteries, AA batteries. Those are all 3.7 volts a piece. If you wire those in parallel. Now that's a whole different story. I'll show you how that works really quick. In the world of batteries, if you wire things in series, you double the voltage. It'll still be 380 milliamps per hour, but it'll be 7.4 volts. Since these are 4.2 volts fully charged, it will be 8.4 volts and will eventually taper off to 7.4 volts. So that's if you wire in series. Now if you wire in parallel, you get twice the milliamps per hour. So you would have 760 milliamps per hour instead of 380, and the whole while you'd be pushing around, you know, starting at 8.4, I'm sorry, you'd be starting at 4.2, because these are fully charged, one battery, 4.2 volts. So you would be pushing 4.2 volts for 380 milliamps per hour. And so you can run your camera with 2 of these. Right here's a plug that I actually made, and I should have wired this in parallel, but I was having fun and I was making all kinds of plugs, and I wired this one in series. And the way it works, you can see here my positives going up my positive lead here, my negatives coming down, and it goes to the negative of the other battery. You see the negative coming down, and then it goes out the positive into the negative of the other battery. And actually I'm unclear of which way that flows, but that's the way it should look. And what that does, that's going to create 8.4 volts. And with that setup, I have to use the battery eliminating circuit. If I would have wired that in parallel, I wouldn't need the battery eliminating circuit. So if you do make one of those and you just want to use these small LiPos, I would recommend wiring it in parallel. And that'll power your camera quite well for a long period of time. So that's how you do it. That's how you power any action cam with any battery. And here's a bonus for those out there who are in the quad world, quadcopters, drones, that type of thing. If you have a home build, all you need is your micro USB. I use a jumper like this, or an old servo plug. And you can plug this anywhere where there's 5 volts. Normally your flight controller or your receiver will have that. 3.8, 5 volts in that area. If you have a toy grade, let's say you have like a Bugs 3 or something like that, you can actually open it up and look around on your circuitry there and try to find an output that's between 3.8 volts and 5 volts. You can solder these wires directly to it. You can actually make yourself a hole, put this wire into it prior to soldering to the right length, and then you can come right out of the drone straight into the camera and power it that way. I don't know about the Bugs 3. It might have its own power source routed to the bottom of the drone, because a lot of those have them. They have plugs on the bottom, and you can actually, you know, rig up a plug for your camera to power your camera directly from the drone. So anyway, that's how you do it. I just wanted to go through this and show you how it works. I was excited about it when I first did that. I was glad to be able to use my camera again. I was going to just throw it away. And then I was like, nah, let's not do that. I'm a do-it-yourselfer at heart. So anyway, feel free to like and subscribe. Go ahead, and I also have a drone group page that I've created, and it's called Drone Share, one word. And we are looking, you know, to get as many people as we can to come enjoy drones with us. Anything from toy grade, do-it-yourself, professional grade videos, you know, that kind of thing. You're willing to come share that with us, just go ahead and click the link to join the group. And once again, that is Drone Share on Facebook. Thank you. Have a good day.